Okay, so this is a reaction review and round by round scoring for Hughie Fury versus Alexander Povetkin. Just like the Lomachenko fight, it wasn't most. I don't know if it was really the public. It was mostly people that I knew. Friends of mine who watched boxing felt like Hughie Fury was gonna get knocked out in this fight. Once again, I had to tell everyone that put some respect on Hughie Fury's name. He may not be the best heavyweight in the division, but the man knows how to move. He knows how to tie up. He knows how to hold. He knows how to, he knows how to defend himself. He knows how to not get knocked out. If there was a tremendous trait he has, it'll probably be to not get knocked out. But yeah, as for the fight, I think it's safe to say it wasn't really entertaining at all. It was a lot of Povetkin chasing Hughie down. Sometimes Povetkin would land, sometimes he wouldn't. Hughie wasn't really punching with much authority. He wasn't punching with much, you know. It's not like it didn't look like he was trying to hurt Povetkin at all, to be honest. But let's get into it round by round. So round one, I gave it to Hughie Fury. It looked like a feeling out process, as usually the first round does go. But Hughie Fury was using some good feints and was keeping Povetkin at bay, keeping him thinking. He was flicking his jab out there, so I felt like Hughie Fury deserved the first round. Round two went to Hughie Fury. This was a little bit closer, but Fury definitely, well, not definitely for me, he did enough to win. Povetkin was just taking some jabs to the face in this round, and Hughie Fury's defense was called Povetkin's attacks to be pretty much ineffective. So that was how I scored round two. Round three, I had it for Hughie Fury again. This one was just once again kind of similar. Povetkin was missing, especially early in this fight. Povetkin wasn't landing. He was missing. Hughie Fury's footwork, head movement was just making Povetkin's shots, punches hit air. Once again, Hughie Fury's just flicking that jab out. A lot of it wasn't hitting his face, but there were jabs that were definitely touching him. You could definitely see it. Povetkin got round four for me. This was when Povetkin had a shot. I believe it was early in the round. Povetkin started the round. Not a shot, they start. My apologies. To the round was the only thing to really separate these two. It was a close round, but the way Povetkin started this round, it was much more aggressive. He landed this time. He was definitely getting Hughie's attention, and afterwards, nothing much was happening. So the fact that that was the only thing that really separated these two in this round, I gave it to Povetkin. Round five, Fury's inside work won. One thing I noticed that Fury was doing well was he was catching Povetkin sleeping when they were tied up. Whenever they were tied up, Povetkin was too busy trying to let go, and Hughie would slip that right hand out and just catch Povetkin with it. Nothing serious, nothing that would wobble Povetkin, but you know, so it's a point that scores. And Hughie was doing that a lot, to the body and to the head in this round. So I gave that to Hughie. Round six went to Alexander Povetkin. This was close, but I just felt like Povetkin edged it. At this point, I did start to notice that Povetkin is kind of going upstairs and downstairs, which is probably why Hughie got tired later in the fight, which we'll get to. But this when I started to notice what Povetkin was doing. Round seven, I gave it to Hughie Fury. Hughie Fury was the aggressor in this round. I don't want to say aggressor in a sense of applying pressure, but you could definitely see who was throwing first, who was trying to you know take control of the action here, and I could definitely see Hughie Fury was doing that. He landed some decent right hand, some 1-2s, he threw some good 1-2s, and sometimes he just threw the right hand by itself, and he was landing on Povetkin's head this round, and that's why I thought he won round 7. Round 8, I gave it to Povetkin. This is where Hughie Fury began to slow down from the body shots Povetkin was throwing, because now Povetkin's pushing Hughie Fury back, and you could see Hughie Fury starting to get tired and slow down. So Povetkin's pushing him back, still hitting the body and the head. Not nothing didn't change anything. Keeping the same sustained attack. Round 9, once again Povetkin, same story as the previous round. Walked him down, landed more shots in the previous round though. Walked him down, was finding a lot more success than he was earlier in the fight. And Hughie's now definitely starting to show that he's slowing down. Round 10, it looked like Povetkin maybe took a rest, or either Hughie gave just really dug deep and tried to find something, because he was throwing some 1-2s and some jabs and really on his bike trying to move away from Povetkin. But Povetkin was missing quite a bit in this round, so I couldn't give him the round. I did the shots that I saw were landing were the 1-2s from Hughie and the jab that he got back on his jab in this round. So that's why I gave it to him. Unfortunately, round 11 I gave to Povetkin. This round, I wish I could tell you why, but this round my actual stream cut out, and I was too busy trying to actually recover the stream to then actually write down the things that I saw in the round. So yeah, I don't know exactly why I gave him round 11. As for round 12, I gave Povetkin round 12 because when I finally got my stream back up, it was like the last minute, last 45 seconds of the round, and I could just score from what I saw. So I just gave the round Povetkin because that's who I saw doing, who was more active and doing more of the work in this round. So pretty much I got a 114 to 114 final scorecard, scoring at a draw. And it was, like I said, it wasn't the most entertaining fight. It was quite I don't want to say a snooze fest. For me at least, I was fine. I watch boxing all the time. This happens, and I was entertained by Fury's performance because I was intrigued by his defense and also intrigued how Povetkin was approaching this whole thing. But this fight wasn't that entertaining. As far as I'm concerned, it's not a fight I would really want to go back and watch again. It's not a fight I would want to score again to see if I get a different scorecard. I'll just keep the draw as it is. But yeah, Povetkin gets the win here. This is Fury's third loss now. It's really unfortunate because he has skills that could definitely get him some good wins. I just don't know what it is he's doing that makes him come up short. First it was Joseph Parker. I actually scored that fight a draw. So first he lost to Joseph Parker, loses to Kubrat Pulev, and now loses to Alexander Povetkin. I feel like there's something he needs to change. Maybe it could be his uncle as his trainer. Then again, I feel Peter is a good trainer, so I don't know what that could be. Maybe he needs to stop this tip tap, dance away, tap tap, step back, style. Clearly the judges are not loving it. They don't appreciate it. Maybe he needs to start coming forward and become more of an aggressive fighter. He's clearly definitely not on the same level as his cousin, but they have a similar fighting style. So it's weird for me. I could definitely see the differences between them as why Tyson's better, but at the same time I don't understand why it doesn't work for Hughie either. But as for Povetkin, I don't know exactly what he's gonna do next. I don't know what fight he would be looking for next. I don't see him fighting for another world title again in his career. Maybe he just needs one more big name, maybe a British name, whether it's Derek Chisora or Joseph Park. Even though it was announced today that those two are fighting in October. So I don't know what's next for him. But at the end of the day, he was given a W. I think the scorecards was 117, 111 for Povetkin. That was kind of interesting to me. Like I said, I think it might have been down to the judges just not appreciating the, tap tap, step back style of Fury. So it's nothing new. Good luck. I think Fury needs to work on something, needs to change something, and Povetkin, I don't know, Povetkin needs to make up his mind, honestly. Whether it's time to retire, whether he wants a big fight. I don't know where he's gonna go for this big fight. Looks like Dillian White might be suspended. if this B sample comes back. So it's not like he's gonna get a Dylan White fight. That's the only name that came to my head of who he could fight that would make him some money, but he's probably gonna be suspended. So I don't know. But either way, the fight's done. Like I said, I wouldn't be watching it again. But respect to both men. I respect every fighter who gets in the ring. You know, they probably trained their ass off for this fight, and in some ways they fought their ass off. But I don't know. Either way, it's Brooke, and I'm out. So like, comment, subscribe, and in a bit.